I step off the tram into the Atlantic air metal on tracked scooters clipping past vendors volleying prices. Then I see it, a sandstone gate the size of a dream carved in knotwork held the sun since the 1100s, the Casbah of the Udayas. I duck under the arch, the volume slider on Rabat drags down to near zero. My footsteps trade asphalt for centuries, cool stone under shoes, a hush that feels intentional. The walls breathe out sea salt air. Somewhere behind me, the tram clangs once more, like a door closing on modern time. Blue and white alleys start threading ahead, painted in the kind of blue that swallows glare and hands it back as shade. A cat stretches in a sun square. Laundry becomes prayer flags of daily life. Every few steps, the Atlantic sends a whisper. Wind brushing doors, seagulls writing cursive in the sky. This place was a fortress, a promise to hold the line where river meets ocean. Almohad stone, 12th century, built to watch the water and everyone who dared show up on it. I pass an old cannon that now points mostly at memory. A door opens, mint and bread drift out for a moment. I'm convinced smell is the true historian. The call to prayer lifts, distant and weightless. It doesn't interrupt the quiet, it completes it. I follow the alleys toward the platform over the river, Beau Regreg like a polished ribbon, Saleh across the way, boats tilting in rhythm. Cities can be loud about who they are. Rabat has a whisper. It says, "Come closer, slow down, remember your smallness next to the sea." And just like that, I exhale. Modern time behind me, Atlantic time ahead.
The city noise thins, not all at once, but as if passing through a veil. I step into the shade. The Andalusian gardens don't announce themselves. They hush you. A quiet that feels intentional, earned. I slow down. My hurried city pace feels wrong here. I let my eyes adjust to blue shadow and gold light. Up close, the world gets louder. Zellige tiles, each piece a tiny decision. Hand-cut edges, a nick here, a shine there. The signature of a human hand. The glaze catches the sun like a held breath, then lets it go. My fingers hover, almost touch. Cool, then warmer where the light pools. Water threads the place together, its sound the garden's pulse. A stone fountain murmurs in a language older than the city walls. The trickle maps the courtyard, turning corners, finding roots. I follow it like a compass pointing toward stillness. Every drip makes the air softer. The dust settle. Look closer. The grout lines are tiny roads. The mosaics are neighborhoods of color. Ultramarine next to bone white, a flash of emerald you only see if you lean in. It's geometry that somehow feels alive. Order that breathes. Beyond the tiles, the garden opens. Orange trees balancing lanterns of fruit. Blue walls hold the scene like a frame, and the oranges pop so bright they feel unreal. I break a leaf between my fingers. Citrus oils spark the air. The wind carries it, slow and clean. Bougainvillea drapes the path like a soft shout, petals paper thin, stubbornly vivid. I catch the whisper of the call to prayer in the distance, threaded with seagulls and the faint rush of the Atlantic. The city is right there, a blurred memory just beyond the walls. But here, time moves like water over stone. The light keeps changing. In the shade, the blues go deep and cool. In the sun, everything tips to gold. Shadows ripple over the tiles like passing clouds on a map. I watch the day tilt, minute by minute, and the garden answers with color. I don't need a wide shot. There's no single frame that can capture this. The story is in the details, a chip in a tile, a droplet leaving a circle on the basin, an orange against a blue wall. This is the anchor, quiet enough to hold the whole city in place. I breathe in the green, the stone, the water, a complete thought, and I leave slower than I came. The alley folds around me like a whisper, and I duck into a narrow doorway where the light turns to gold dust. It smells like lanolin, old wood. Then I see them, hands that look like riverbeds after a long summer moving with a rhythm older than the street outside. He doesn't look up at first. The loom does the talking. Warp, weft, pull. The wool hums as it slides, each thread a sentence, each knot a full stop. I stand in profile, nodding, letting his cadence set the pace of the room. He finally glances over, half a smile, as if to say, "You hear it too?" I do. The carpet is a map. Storm blues in the shadows, a warm line of sun stitched along the horizon. His fingers blur, then land, precise, like a bird knowing exactly which branch will hold. He points, no words, at a pattern of diamonds. The gatekeeper, he explains with a tap to his chest, isn't a person out there. It's the one in here who decides what gets to pass from memory into matter. The keeper of the pattern. I watch his thumbs test the tension. Too tight and the story breaks. Too loose and it unravels with the first footstep. He knots a secret into the border. A tiny deviation no one will notice unless they're looking for imperfection on purpose. A reminder that only the sky is flawless. Dust floats through the light like tiny pilgrims with somewhere important to be. Outside, the call to prayer drifts in, and the loom answers with its own quiet metronome. He doesn't hurry. Time, here, is counted in rows.
I follow the Buragreg River until the city hushes to a low breath. The water is glass on it floats a vision, white, curved, almost impossible. The Grand Theater of Rabat looks like a wave paused mid-crest, a whisper carved in stone by Zaha Hadid. I slow down, wind in my mic. Soft footsteps on the promenade, seagulls somewhere ahead. The river holds the building like a mirror, and for a second, I can't tell which side is the future and which is the reflection. Rabat has an old heartbeat. You can feel it from the Casbah to the Medina. But here, the rhythm shifts. Clean lines, bold edges, a calm confidence. The facade flows. No sharp corners, just movement like the Atlantic made solid and set down by the water. I turn, and there it is in the distance, Hassan Tower. Ancient, steady, watching. Between the tower and this white curve, the city draws a line you can't see but you can feel. Old stones, new dreams. A distant call to prayer drifts across the river. Families drift by. A kid skates past. A fisherman checks his line. Culture here isn't just preserved, it's being rehearsed. Stages, seats, open doors, an invitation for voices not yet famous, stories not yet told. The sun slides lower, gold on the edges, blue in the shadows, the whole place glowing like it belongs to both day and night. The theater becomes a horizon of its own, curved, generous, sure. I breathe in the salt, the wind, the quiet promise. Rabat is not choosing between yesterday and tomorrow. It's learning how to speak both at once. If you listen closely, the Atlantic whisper isn't only the sea, it's the city, telling you it's ready. Ready to reflect, ready to perform, ready to become what it's been hinting at all along. Look across the water. The contrast is the point. The horizon is already here.
I slip past the city's hum into Chellah, where the air feels older than the walls. The grass is high enough to brush my knees. Every step sounds like a secret being told too loud. Roman stones sit shoulder to shoulder, Islamic arches, time stacked like old film reels. A minaret leans into the sky, weathered, soft, almost shy. On its crown, a stork watches me as if I'm the tourist and it's the guard. This place breathes in layers. You can feel the empire that measured roads in straight lines, the sultans who measured days by the call to prayer. Now it's the wind doing the talking, threading through reeds, broken columns, stitching centuries together. Muted adhan in background. I pause at a pool where stories say eels bring luck. Ripples ring outward like rumors. Above me, wings unfold, slow motion in real life, a stork lifting into a pale Atlantic sky. Its shadow glides over mosaics, fig roots that pry at marble like patient hands. It smells like wet stone, wild mint. A feather drifts down, spins, lands on a carved fragment with Latin letters I can't read, and suddenly the whole place feels like a bookmark in a book the earth keeps rereading. I don't whisper to be dramatic. I whisper because the place asks for it. The silence here isn't empty. It's crowded with footsteps you can't hear anymore. I pass an archway where vines have won. The ruin isn't dying. It's changing jobs. Fortress, nest, map, memory. Chellah is not a ruin you look at. It's a ruin that looks back. And in that glance, you realize the mystery isn't what was lost. It's how much stayed.
I duck into a tiny Mahlaba off a busy Rabat sidewalk. No sign, no fuss. Just chrome counters, glass shelves, and the smell of mint and sugar. The guy behind the counter lifts the teapot high. The stream arcs, hits the glass, and blooms into foam, little bubbles sprinting to the rim. First sip is heat and garden. Sweet, alive, and a little dangerous for the tongue. A row of pomegranate yogurt bottles glows like stained glass. I twist one open. Tart, cold, bright. It cuts through the tea like a sea breeze cuts through noon. Almond pastries wink at me from behind the glass. Flaky, sticky, a perfect quiet trouble. I slide onto a small metal table that wobbles like it has stories. Outside, jalabas drift by, soft fabrics, steady steps, right next to a blur of suit jackets, phones, and quick deals. Same street, two tempos. Ambient sound sneaks in, wind along the walls, a distant call to prayer, seagulls carving the air, footsteps that don't belong to anyone and everyone at once. The tea glass clinks. The spoon taps twice. I'm not a tourist right now. I'm a pause button. I melt into the background the way sugar disappears in hot water. Nobody looks twice at me, which feels like the best kind of hello. A kid counts coins with serious eyebrows. A grandmother laughs from deep in her chest. A businessman edits a life on his screen. I just sip, see, hear. Another bite of almond, and the pastry collapses like a sunset. I leave a ring of tea on the metal, a tiny signature that will vanish with the next wipe. I stand up lighter. Out the door, Rabat exhales. I match the rhythm and move.
The wind hits first. Salty, cool, honest. Out here by the Far de Rabat, the Atlantic doesn't talk. It roars. I walk the old seawall like it's a sentence I'm trying to finish. Boots scuff stone. Seagulls write commas in the sky. Somewhere behind me, the call to prayer lifts, soft and golden, folding into the waves. Look at this light. The sun drops, and the whole horizon catches. Orange-purple spray turned to sparks. Every crash against the dark rock feels ancient, like the city and the ocean have been arguing forever and somehow stayed friends. I stand on the edge, and this place edits me, cuts out the noise, leaves what matters. Breath, heartbeat, horizon. The lighthouse holds steady, a quiet metronome to time I can't control. People pass behind me. Laughter, a scarf in the wind. Footsteps that sound like memory. I think about all the goodbyes that left from this coast. All the returns that felt like miracles. The Atlantic keeps its secrets, but it lets you eavesdrop if you're patient. Another wave lifts, higher, heavier, and when it breaks, the world goes white. For a second, I'm only a silhouette, a question mark against a burning sky, and then the color rushes back. Here's the truth I found on this wall. You don't have to beat the ocean. You just have to listen long enough to hear your own voice inside it. The last light thins. The city glows behind me like a promise. I turn, slow, and leave the edge with my pockets full of salt and a story that won't wash off. Tomorrow will be louder. Tonight, I let the Atlantic whisper.
They call Rabat the quiet capital, but silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of time. It's a city that asks you to slow down your shutter speed and just breathe. The best things I saw today weren't in the viewfinder. They were in the moments between the shots. Because the lens is just a tool, the wander is what makes you whole. Sometimes the soul of a city is just waiting for you to notice it. Sometimes the soul of a city is just waiting for you to notice it. If you want to see the world through a different lens, hit that subscribe button and join the journey. Where should we wander next? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next city.